Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to build a desk. As you know, right now with the COVID, there's a shortage of desks. The desk that they wanted was, I think, $229 in Walmart. I'll post it up after I run the video. And we're going to try to make this probably for under 75 bucks. And I'll show you what it's going to take. And it's going to be 10 times as strong as a pressboard desk that you have to put together yourself anyway. Only difference will be is it's going to be missing the one drawer. I'll make it with like 3 shelves instead of 1 drawer and 1 shelf. And you'll see what I mean by the pictures before and after of the actual versus the one I make. Alright, that's it. And here we go. This is the wood that we're going to use. Piece of plywood, 4x8 sheet, 23x32 thick. Okay, we're also going to be using some wood glue and some white paint. Ultra Cover, Rust-Oleum, Painter's Touch, Semi-Gloss White, and some Titebond original wood glue. We also have 2 pieces of 1x2x8 that I'll be using. Alright guys, so I showed you all the stuff we're going to use. First time I'm making something like this, so we're going to learn together. I'm going to mark out on this one sheet. This is a 4x8 sheet. I'm hoping to get the entire desk out of one sheet. So I'm going to mark it all up and then I'll show you where the lines are and how you can mark it up to make the same desk. Okay. This is the desk that we're going to try to make. This desk is 19.7 inches deep. So I'm going to just round it to 20 inches, you know, make it easier to build. And I'm going to mark out the panels at 20 inches and to the lengths that are required based on this little blueprint right here, which you're looking at about 42 inches total length. So I'm just going to cut it across the 48 way. This piece right here is 4 feet. So you got 12 times 4, 48. So you know I'm using a drywall T-square, which is 48 inches long. Makes it easier to make the straight lines, and it'll be a lot easier to get a nice straight cut. Next, we're going to use a guide for cutting up to 48 inches. This is actually it's a 50-inch clamp. It's called a cut edge guide made by Pittsburgh. I purchased this over at Harbor Freight. I'll link it down below. Okay guys, I got it all marked out. I'll show you. I wrote it on each piece of wood. I didn't cut anything yet. It looks like we have enough to build one desk. You know, it's not a big office desk, obviously. It's for a college kid. That's the top, 31.5 by 20. Upper top, 13.5 by 20. Left side, 27 by 40. Shelf, 12 by 20. Right side, 31.5 by 20. You got another shelf, 12 by 20. A center upright, 31.5 by 20. And this piece on the end, we'll call it the back. That's an extra piece that I'll put across the back for strength. Okay guys, that's everything marked up. I'm going to go ahead and cut everything. I'm going to put you on fast speed. I don't want to bore you, but I'm going to cut it on the lines that I showed you. Okay guys, to make these cuts, I'm going to use a straight edge. It's about 1 1/8 inch in from the blade with my saw. And I'm going to make all the cuts like that.
Can you see me? What do you need me to do?
Okay, this what's left is the back. Okay guys, now that everything's cut, we're going to put it together. Okay, we're going to take the right side and center upright, and we're going to build that shelf unit that's on the side of it. What I'm going to do is lay it sideways so we can glue it and nail it together. I'm going to use some clamp and some glue, and once I get it clamped and glued, I'll use my finishing nailer to throw some nails in there as well to keep it nice and tight. Okay, so the middle shelf and the bottom shelf go in between the 2 uprights, and the top shelf is going to sit on top of the 2 uprights. Put a line of glue on the bottom of both, and I'm going to mark where I'm going to put the center shelf. So I'm going to center it, since we're at 31.5, it'll be 15 3/4. We'll score a line. Okay, that's our center shelf line. Get a block of wood and you can tap it, make sure she's level. Get a little glue, squeeze out, just wipe it off. And then we're gonna put the top on. It doesn't go on the inside, it goes on top. That's why I made this one a little bit wider. Make sure you pick a nice clean side to be on the top. And I'll throw some nails in there to tighten it up. Alright guys, now we're gonna take this air nailer. Got a Craftsman air nailer, and I'm going to nail these shelf boards on. You know, with the nail gun, it's a little hard to make sure that the nails don't come through the wood at a slight angle and they'll come out the side. I actually got one that happened to, so I'll have to trim that off. When we paint it, you won't see it. Hey guys, if you're wondering why am I building this desk, I had told you in the beginning, due to COVID, there was a shortage of desks. My niece, who is starting college this year, can't find a desk. So I'm building her the one that she wanted, that I'm using the picture of and dimensions from Walmart to build. So that's who it's for. It's for my niece Amanda. Hopefully I'll get this thing built in a day or two for her. Okay, those seem to work out well. We'll let that dry for a little bit, and then I'll set up the actual side, the working side of it. Okay guys, here's the plan for the side. I'm going to put a piece of wood across the shelf side of it at a height of 27 inches, which is the height of the side leg. And I'll show you what I mean. This is going to go here with your top across this way. So in order for it to sit nice and level at 27 inches, I'm going to put a piece of wood across here to sit the wood on. And what I'll do is I'll cut it back about 2 inches so you don't see it from the front, but it'll make it very strong. So I'm going to cut that piece now, and I'll attach it, make sure she's level, and let that dry. We're going to cut this piece at 18 inches, and this is where the 1x2s come in. So guys, it comes out to about 5 1/4 from the top, or 17 from down, actually 27 from the bottom, 5 1/2 down from the top. So we'll put it right here on the side, throw a little glue, a couple of nails in it, and we'll go from there. So we'll put a clamp on it so it don't slide down. Perfect. Nice and level, swiping any excess glue. Let's see if I have some nails for that. So I think what I decided to do on that short piece that's going to hold the top, this piece right here, let me bring you over. This piece right here, I glued it and clamped it, but I think what I'm going to do is put 2 screws in it instead of just finishing nails, because my nails are a little too long and they'll go right through into the shelf. So I'll drill it and I'll put 2 screws to make it nice and tight. I'm going to pre-drill and put 1 1/4 inch screws in here. I'm going to use 3 screws actually, and I'm going to pre-drill it out now. This way we don't crack that piece of wood. Make sure you don't drill too deep. You'll go right through the other side. If you have to, you can always put a little piece of tape on your drill bit at the depth you want to go, so you don't pass it and go through the other side. Okay, that should do it. I can take these off. Go. Now we got a nice strong shelf to put the top of the desk on. So when you're sitting here at your desk and you're working, you don't push down and push off. If you just put that piece of wood and screwed it in from the back, it wouldn't be strong at all. But this will make it strong. So if you're wondering, this is how it's gonna look. Just like that. Not bad, right? So that's just laying there right now. I still have to glue it and put some of the finishing nails on that, but that pretty much looks like that one from Walmart. So, and then I'll also put a back on it to make it stronger with that extra piece of wood back there. The shelf here to the end of the desk on this side is about 44 3/4 inches, I believe. I'll double check that. And I'm gonna cut this back piece, that leftover piece, off the end of the 4x8 sheet, and I'm going to put that across the full length, across the shelf and the desk part, across the back, to make it nice and strong. That way we ensure that this leg over here is not standing on its own, and it has the back behind it to keep it all nice and square later on over time. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'll cut that back piece of wood, we'll glue that on, and we'll glue this piece across here, glue the leg, and tighten everything up. Once that's done, then all we really got to do is sand all the edges and paint. Measure across, looking at 44 3/4 across the whole thing. So we'll cut this piece 44 3/4. Okay, that's the back. Okay, what I'm going to do now is glue top to the leg. And we'll throw a few nails in that. Some nails on the end. As you can tell, it's a little wobbly because of that, so we need to definitely have that strength. The back So that's next. What I'll do is I'll mark where it is so that we can put the glue in the right place, the right height. Alright guys, so that back panel happens to be 16 inches wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it like 2 inches below the top of the desk. That way if she wants to put wires through or whatever, you can fit them through that 2-inch gap. And that way it's also be about 18 inches down across the whole back, linking together the shelf and the leg. So she's going to be nice and strong. Right, I marked off the location so I can hit some glue on there. Alright guys, what I decided to do was actually lay it down so I could put that back on because I only got 2 hands and it's a little rough. I think what I'll do with this extra scrap, make the back of the shelf solid so nothing falls through. So I'll cut a piece to cover this and a piece to cover that side of the back. 9.5 by 13 3/8. 13 3/8 this way. Okay. Mark that off. Might be able to use my larger square for that. I want to make sure this is nice and tight in between the 2 pieces of wood so you don't see it from the front. For anyone wondering what I'm using some 2-inch Porter Cable 16 gauge nails. They're more of a finishing nail, but since I'm gluing it, I'm just using them to hold it in place. The glue is going to do most of it. Okay, I'll see if I have a piece for here. So it looks like we got 6 3/4 by 13 1/4. Fill in on this back of the shelf. Glue it and nail it on. Okay, get the nail gun. Now I know some of you may go, hey, DIY Dad, I don't have a nail gun. I don't have a compressor. Listen, just use some finishing nails. Take some finishing nails, put them in the back by hand with a hammer. Same thing, may take a little bit longer, that's all, if you don't have air nailer. If you do want an air nailer, I'll put in the description below what I use, the Craftsman, the number, the compressor if you want. I'll throw it down there just in case. I have a small compressor too, you don't need a big one. I also got a small one from Harbor Freight that works just as good. Alright guys, this is what she comes out to at the end. You can see inside the shelf has a full back. The desk section has a back with about a 2-inch gap for some wiring. I'm going to sand all the edges and then I'll paint it tomorrow. And out of that 1 sheet of 4x8 plywood, this is what was left over. A couple of small pieces, not too bad. So you can get away with building this desk with 1 sheet of plywood. I think that piece of plywood was about 38 bucks. I'll see if I have a copy of the receipt. I'll show it to you. And it's the extra smooth plywood, so it's not rough. Little walk around it. That's the back. Hopefully she likes it. Alright, we're going to sand now. We're going to use a small Makita palm sander, electric sander. Okay, so that's it for rounding off all the edges. Came out pretty good. We'll paint it tomorrow. Alright guys, just want to put a little disclaimer out there. This is the first time I've made one of these desks. Did it off of a picture off of Walmart.com. And I know there'll be people out there maybe want to criticize it, maybe even give DIY Dad a thumbs down. But hey, first time I did it, not afraid to tackle it. We'll paint it, see how it looks. Hopefully she's happy with it, and maybe you guys can make one, because we know can't buy a desk right now with COVID-19 going on. Everybody's at home, schooling from home, so. Alright guys, I was looking at the picture from Walmart, and there's a little small piece of wood across the desk, I guess to keep it nice and stiff, underneath here. Across it, so I'm going to put that in next before I paint. So that's what I'm going to do now. I just happened to be reviewing the picture and I missed it, so here it is. About 30 3/4. Okay, so this is where it goes, and that'll stiffen up where you're leaning. I'm going to glue it, clamp it, get 2 small nails in it to hold it. I'm going to set it back to cover the piece of wood that we put across the side to hold up the desk. I'm going to pin it against that. It's about 1 inch back. Nice and tight and snug, so it really doesn't need a clamp, but we'll hold it together temporarily. A little while anyway. clamp in the middle. Alright, I'm also thinking I'm gonna throw another piece of wood on this side underneath. Might as well to strengthen it up while I got the extra wood. Clamp just to hold it. Alright guys, now we're going to also put another piece of wood, just like we did in the front, down here, in the back. So basically, I use that 1 by 2 by 8 foot. I used the whole thing. I think I got maybe an inch of it left now, after all that. I'm going to put a piece across the back. We got a piece across the front and both sides. Be nice and strong underneath. You'll be able to sit on it after I'm done. Once it's all glued, throw some finishing nails in there just to hold it in so I can take the clamps off. These nails happen to be a little bit long, I know that. That's all I have. So when I put it through that 1 by 2, I'll just clip it off on the inside. Perfect. Now we'll glue in the back one. I can take this clamp off since I nailed it in. Put a little glue on all points of contact, then nail it in. Alright, I'm going to show you underneath now where we're going to trim off those nails excess length and let you see what it looks like underneath. Just trim these off. Okay, now she's trimmed off. That's what it looks like underneath. It's a little spot to get your wires through still. Nice and strong. Okay, now we're ready to prime. Alright, now I'm going to raise it up on a couple of blocks of wood so when I paint it, I'm not, getting it all over the scrap rug that's under it. I'll put blocks under it. Alright, I raised it off the ground and it's ready to paint. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I got a whole set of dirty clothes, so if you see me wearing the same shirt every time, because I got a few dirty shirts that got paint on them, whatever, and I just keep reusing them. I don't throw them out. I'm going to put a coat of primer on it first. I'm going to use a Kilts primer, let that dry, and then we'll paint it. This, I believe, is an oil base, so I usually use like a cheap $2 brush. Just throw it out when I'm done. Alright guys, I decided to blow off some of the sawdust before I paint. Might be a good idea to just wipe it down, just so you don't get it in the brush and onto the paint. And that's it. It's also a good idea if when you start painting, you paint from the inside out, so you're not putting your arm through all that paint and getting it all over yourself. Alright guys, that's a coat of primer. We'll let that dry up and we'll paint it. Alright guys, we let the desk sit for about an hour or so. It looks pretty dry. I'm going to go ahead and start painting. I use these cheap throwaway brushes over at Harbor Freight. I usually pick them up whether I need them or not for $1 a piece when they're on sale. Start collecting them, hang them up in the garage. You never know when you're going to use a paintbrush. Plus, throw it away. It's $1. Alright guys, that's a finished coat of paint. So it's got 1 coat of primer, 1 coat of paint. Painted over everything. Got any little imperfections, try to get them out of there anyway. This brush, almost it's a buck. Some of the bristles fall out here and there, so I gotta pick them off. But other than that, not bad. Figure maybe, about 2 hours to paint it. And you're looking at probably about 2.5 hours to 3 hours to build it. So you're looking at maybe a 5-hour project. You get this thing done in 1 day. Easy, you know what I mean? Simple, quick desk. Didn't cost you $219 at Walmart. Cost maybe about, all told. I happen to have the primer, so I didn't count that, but figure 58 plus the primer. So you're looking at maybe $70 tops. You got yourself a 1 piece of plywood and 1 by 2 by 8 desk. Simple. Alright guys, so we're going to let this dry up for a little while, and then we're going to do a delivery. Throw it in the back of the pickup truck and drive it over. Hi Amanda!
Oh my god,
I love it! Oh my god, it's perfect! Put all your books right there. Your computer? Oh my god!
Oh my god. Do you have a mouse?
Thank you. You can put little cubbies in. It's so good. So good. So good. Oh my god. It's gonna be great. I love it. DIY dad right there. Amazing.
What's in your garage? Amanda's desk.
Another good job by DIY Dad.
Great job.
Great job. We love it.
Alright guys, it's time for What's in Your Garage. So for this episode of What's in Your Garage, I have a digital angle ruler. I always say, what is that? It's a ruler that helps you figure out the angle on a piece of wood if you really don't know angles that well. It's digital, it's easy. I like it. Do I really need it? Sometimes, yeah. And I'll show you how it works. This is what it is. It has digital readout, and as you move it, digital moves. So if you want to see what angle is on something, like on this desk we're building, is it really 90 degrees or not? And what do you got there? 90 degrees, that's pretty good. Usually you don't get that kind of perfection, but we got lucky today. But that's how that works. Pretty simple tool, something cheap if you want to get somebody, one of your loved ones wants it, there you go. Maybe they don't even know they need it, but they'll like it when they get it. So that's what we have today for What's in Your Garage, a digital angle ruler. Another cool tool. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hi, this is DIY daughter. How you doing? Need more help?
Yep.
I didn't sign up for this. That good?
Okay.
Look, I'm good at this, aren't I? Forget you, Alyssa. We don't need you.
Oh, I'm not putting that on. Even
What?
on a blooper.
What? That's a blooper, yes.
No.
Why?
No, that's not allowed. She won't ever help me again.
Yes, she will. She loves you. I'm holding it. One day when you're gone, me and Alyssa are gonna sit in here and cry. And look at all your stuff. Oh, we'll just like, we miss Dad.
What are you saying? I'm gonna die?
No, I'm just saying one day you'll be
She's
gone.
killing me off.
No, one day you'll be gone, and it'll be me and Alyssa will sit in here and be like, we miss you, Dad. With all your stuff. No,
That's
you're
a
gonna
weird
cry. You
thought.
almost cried. No, I'm just saying, like, you just so long. This is you. We love you. Right, Alyssa? Right.
I get sawdust all over you.
Alyssa Rose got me this shirt. It's Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish? Thank you.
I'm not holding it flat. What are you doing to my camera? Oh, I love you.
Sorry, I grabbed your teeth. I grabbed Daddy by his teeth. Now we got the wood.
Just hold it.
No, leave it in there. Have a little fun in life.
So DIY Dad's a little unorganized and he can't find his level. And that's the shelf section. Putting this at 2,500 speed is going to make it look easy. Mosquito. I guess you saw that fall, so that's why we use a clamp. Oh, coffee has arrived.